So this is a little leadership nugget. And I'm a great person to talk about this, not because I'm a great person, but because I'm such a reluctant leader. And I'm someone in my life who I can't believe I'm in leadership. I couldn't imagine I'd be leading people. And I can imagine teaching because I'm definitely a teacher, but I just don't think I'm better than anybody. I know my flaws. I know my challenges. I know my difficulties. I know my path. But I also know that that's not what leadership is. And leadership is not being extraordinarily talented. Leadership is not being amazingly charismatic, right? That's not what leadership is. Leadership is a heart space. Leadership is a mentality. Leadership is a willingness to serve and a responsibility. And so every one of you is already leading people, and you're going to lead more and more. And I want to simplify for you the beginning of that, because true leadership is people wanting to follow you. That's what it is, right? And in our work, it's all volunteers. None of you has to do anything that I say, ever, ever, right? That's just the truth. I have no means of, nor would I exert it if I did, but I have no means of leverage on you. I have no power over you. I have no authority over you. I have no position over you. And neither do you on anyone you serve in this work. Everyone is a volunteer, which we must respect, and we serve in that way, right? If someone starts the work and they don't continue, I don't hold angst about them. I'm grateful they were here at all. That's how I look at it, right? That just means they weren't meant to take this journey now with us, right? That's how I think about it. And I didn't start that way. I had to mature into that. All right. So just putting that out there. So here are 5 things that position you, even though position is the wrong word, position you to be the person someone would trust to follow and be served by. And they're simple. But number 1 does require you to work. And that is to become effective in the core competencies of the work. And so that requires you to do those things. And the core competencies of this work, in case you don't know what they are a contact for the product or a contact for the work, for the opportunity, right? So an approach for the MR program, an approach for the opportunity. Presenting or telling the story, because I don't teach presenting. I teach telling the story. Telling a story about the product and telling a story about the opportunity. Those are the next 2 competencies. Following up is a competency, right? Staying connected, dripping on someone, answering their questions, getting to know them better, being more connected to them. Training a new person is a competency. Those are the 6 primary ones. Right? Those are the 6 primary competencies. You could add some knowledge-based competencies, but they actually fit into what's next. And none of these do you need to be a superstar in. You just need to be competent, which prospecting competency is very simple. Be nice, be honest, respectful, make a kind offer, and allow someone to decide to learn or not. That's all prospecting competency is. And you do it over and over, and you become pretty darn good at it. Yes, then you become fluid and you can navigate different kinds of conversations, and you can tweak the conversations based on the person's situation and talk about a collaboration or a partnership, but you don't need that language at first, right? You don't need to, that's more mastery. That's not competency, that's mastery, right? And competency gets demonstrated in doing the actual work to actually bring someone in to lead, right? Because why? You have demonstrated competency even along the way. But the point is, you don't even need to, right? Because if you're authentic, if you're operating with the right heart and you're treating people properly, you can fumble and stumble and bumble, and it doesn't make any difference. People don't care, right? Because your heart is speaking so much louder than any word you say. That is the key. That is the key. The second thing is know the company. Know the company's story. Know the company's story. Who are they? Even if you just know that we're almost 90 years old and that we're very successful in Europe and that we take such care in the products we make and we treat people well as a company that's modeled, it's fair, it's the highest integrity thing. Yeah, you didn't know about us here in the States because we were too busy focusing on serving the European organization as it grew, and the MR program had such massive success in Europe, but now we're doing it here, and you're at the beginning of here. That's really it. I mean, I can tell the company story in a way most people can't. Why? Because I've been here forever. and I knew everybody, right? I had a personal relationship with Bob Lemon and a personal relationship with Bill Evans, a personal relationship with Dr. McKee, right? You don't have that. You don't need that. You have the relationship with me, which brings that if you ever need it. But you only need to tell that part of the company story. But the other part of that is be a resource. You are not required to know everything. In today's world, how could you? How could you possibly know everything about anything? You just need to know where everything is, right? And when it comes to work, you need to know where everything is, right? So if you look at that getting started document, at the very bottom of that document, I have the ideal people to reach at the company for certain things. You got issues with your website, Phyllis Evans. You got issues with orders or downline support or stuff, Tracy or Christy Ford, right? Why? They're resources for you, right? Why do I list the toddberry.com? Why did I create them and list them? The Life Plus Dash products page, the Life Plus Dash income page, the Life Plus Dash training page. They're resources. You just need to be able to tell somebody, this is where you get that. This is where you can learn about this. This is it. Do you see what I'm saying? You just need to be a resource for people and not a master of all things. Yes, over time, you'll learn it all, but it's way better to learn as you're working than try to learn it all and then start working, right? You don't study everything about a car to learn how to drive it. That's not what you do. You get in a car with someone and drive around, right? And then you learn as you go. But you still don't have to learn how to build an engine. Somebody else could do that, right? You can point to who fixes it if there's a problem. Number 3, demonstrate integrity and authenticity. Be yourself. Always. In leadership, you can't hide a weakness. You can't hide a struggle. I'm not saying you be a downer to your people. You need to be a lighthouse. So there are some things that you persevere through, but don't hide weaknesses. Admit them, because that's inspiring to someone. It's not inspiring to someone if you're a wonderful speaker and you went around the world and built an empire. Nobody's inspired by that. That's going to make them feel bad. They're like, I can't do that. There's no hope for me. But if they go, oh, you are a mess, but you're successful or you're building it, maybe I can. You got to be you and trust that that's your tribe wants you. If you have to be like someone else for someone to want to be around you, that's not a genuine relationship. Because sooner or later they're going to go, oh, wait a minute. That's not who I liked. Who's this? You can't hide a weakness, so don't try to. Be authentic. Trust is the key. Trust is the foundation of everything that's lasting. You're not perfect. They're not perfect. Let's all be imperfect together. I'd rather imperfectly do it, right? Number 4 is be responsible and be available. Or be responsive and be available. Respond to people. If you're in a situation where you really can't even talk to somebody, you can still, for the most part, shoot a message back in 5 seconds and say, I got your message. I'm in the middle of something. I can't possibly talk in the next couple of days. That's it. Just an acknowledge, right? That's just being respectful, right? But let people know, right? Because counting on you is part of character trust, and trust is at the base of everything. So let them know, here's the best times to reach me. Here's the best ways to reach me. If it's not urgent, shoot me an email. If you need an answer quick, shoot me a text. I'll get back to it as soon as I can, right? If you need a phone conversation, Happy to, but shoot me a text and let me know you're trying to arrange it and we'll set it up, right? I mean, it makes it simple for people, and then they know they can count on you. And I'll tell you what, this is an area you can really shine that's easy because people are used to other people not giving them the time of day. And when you give them the time of day, it feels good for them. And people are always going to remember how you make them feel. They're very rarely going to remember what you said, but they will know and remember how you make them feel. And when they feel good to be in contact with you, they'll be in contact with you and they'll want to be in partnership with you. And the fifth one is set the example, right? Use the products. Have the products in your house. Be a product of the product. Be a servant. Treat people well. And work your business consistently.